Welcome back to the channel, my brothers. My name's Andy R, and this is the Brotherhood of Men. Now, welcome back to the channel, or if this is your first time, welcome to the channel. I hope you get some valuable information from the information I'm giving out to you. And today I want to talk to you about something that you've probably thought of yourself, but is something you haven't really given a lot of thought to, and that is, what is money? Now, most people, and I know you, my brothers out there, you're smart men, you have already probably figured this out, but what is money, and why is it such a game changer, especially in the relationship community? I'll tell you why. Because it changes both men and women, but completely different ways. For men, it's pretty much a positive. For women, it tends to be a negative. So I'm going to explain this to you. First of all, what is money? Well, most people understand what feels like, or what it is to have money, and a lot of people know what it is and feels like not to have money, and how bad things can be. But most people don't understand what money truly is. Money are just options tokens. That's all money is. It's options tokens. Think of it in that way and you won't go far wrong. So what do I mean by options tokens? Well, it affects every single aspect of your life, whether you have a little money or a lot of money, or in this case, a lot of options tokens or a little options tokens. You see, the more of these options tokens you have, money, the more options you have, hence options tokens. And in every aspect of your life, the more of these tokens you have, the more your options you have in your health, your well-being, your prospects, where you live, where you're educated, where you can send your offspring to be educated. Every single aspect of your life is changed by having more options tokens. You see, if you only have 10 options tokens and you want to eat a fancy banquet meal, well, you can't afford it. You only have 10 options tokens. If you have 1,000,000 options tokens, all of a sudden you can eat what you want, where you want, anywhere in the world for that matter. And it's the same with living. You can live in a better community, you can live in a better house. Your health, you can afford better healthcare, you can afford to be better looked after. That's the fact as well, that those with most options token tend to live longer, for the simple reason they can eat better, they can exercise, they have more leisure time. Every aspect of your life is going to be changed by the amount of options tokens you have, money. And that's all money really is. Now, when I said when it comes to men and women it affects them differently, well, yes, it does, and for these reasons. A man knows that he can start with nothing, no options token, quite literally naked in a ditch, but he knows his own hard work, his own due diligence. He can drag himself up quite literally from his bootstraps and make something of himself. He can end up as one of the top 10% in the world earning capabilities, so long as he puts in the effort. He has to do it for himself. Nobody's going to hand him this. For women, it's different. A woman is used to people doing things for her. She's used to people lifting her up, and the more beautiful she is, the more she expects to be lifted up. She doesn't expect to have to put in all of the hard work. Some, yes, but not all of the hard work, because others are going to come and lift her up. A man never expects somebody else to lift him up. He expects to make his achievements through his own hard work. This is why in a previous video I talked about men are the prize, is because we have that mindset, because we have made those achievements for ourselves. We know that we can completely change a woman's life because of what we have. But for a woman who has a lot, it's now a disadvantage to her. You see, although men are initially attracted to beauty, In other words, a fit, attractive woman will grab our gaze and make us look at her and make us think, I'd like to be with her. That's only the start, because if you go through life and all that you're doing is being attracted to beauty and nothing more than surface depth, it's pretty shallow and that's all you're going to get. But men want more from a relationship. They want somebody who is going to add to their life. They want somebody who's going to be a helpmate. They want somebody who is not only fit and feminine, but somebody who is cooperative. Somebody who can add to their life, is a support to them. But we see in today's society that so many women have no idea what it is to be a helpmate, and they start to act in a masculine way, and they have high body counts, which is an off-put, or children, which is an absolute no-no for pretty much all men, that we no longer see. All we see is the beauty and are attracted to that, but when we dig deeper, there's nothing there to build upon. Nothing that we can latch onto and say, this woman's going to add to my life. Other than being arm candy and looking pretty, she's not going to add anything to our life. And this is why in today's society we see that marriage rates are the lowest they've ever been in recorded history. And I say good to that, because I've done enough videos telling you, my brothers out there, never get married because it's not for men. But here's the point. Marriage should never, ever have been an advantage to men or women. It should have been an advantage to both of them together. And it's not. It's only an advantage now to women. So it's a disadvantage to men. And this is why men are rejecting it. Also with long-term relationships, the same thing's happening. Men are quite happy to hook up with women, although that leads to a fairly shallow and empty life. But if that's all that's offered, we'll accept it because it's better than nothing. But the truth of the matter is that it's leaving women almost destitute, and it's leaving men bitter. And we don't want this in our society. It's not good for society, and it's not good for the individuals in that society, men and women. But men know that if they have more options tokens, they all of a sudden become elevated through their own hard work to that higher proportion of men. In other words, the top 10%, top 1%, which makes them, because of their options, it makes them desirable to all women. All women want to get with that top 10%, that top 1% of men, the high value, the high earner, the one with the most options tokens. They want to grab onto the shirt tail of that man, no matter what he looks like. This is why it's a game changer for men, because you can be short, ugly and fat, but have a lot of options tokens, and now you're desirable to the feminine, fit, attractive women, as well as all of the other women, the average women, which is the most of the women. They are all pretty much average. You have at one end of the bell scale, you have, let's be honest, fairly ugly women. And you have at the other end of the bell curve, you have the stunningly beautiful women, the ones that genetics have been very kind to. Those are the ones that are the models, are the actresses, are the, just in life, they've sailed through life easily because they are so beautiful. But that huge part of the centre of the bell curve is average women. Women who are cute, women who are okay looking, women who are fairly fit, but pretty much the average. But that's just it. Those women, if they're given options tokens because of hypergamy, it changes the nature for them. They think they are now more desirable, and they're not. They start to have unrealistic expectations for a relationship that will never get fulfilled. They start looking down on the average man as though he's less than, instead of realizing that he, the average man, can still elevate her, the above average woman, to great heights. But they will look down because hypergamy, they always want better than themselves. This is why you find that single mothers reject single fathers out of hand without even giving them a second look, because they want better than themselves. They are tied down with a child, therefore yoked. They don't want to tie themselves to a man who's tied down with his child. They want better. They want a single man. They want a man who has no children. And the reason they want that is because they know that that single man, they can get him to give all of his attention to her and her child. But she's never going to give all of her attention just to him solely. No, of course not. She's got a child. That's her first priority. Hypergamy, she wants better. This is why you will always find that women who are overweight, obese, and just downright fat and unfit do not want to get together and have relationships with unhealthy fat men. They want better than them. They want a fit, healthy man. Although they look like an absolute mess, they want somebody who isn't a mess. They want better than them. And you can go on and on and on through this. I could give you the example straight away, and I will do now, of educated women. Those women who've been to university and come out with a degree. Now, it doesn't matter that the degree that she's got has no practical real world use and will not secure her a good paying job, won't even secure her any job. But because she's got a piece of paper that has probably put her heavily in debt, she now thinks the working class man is beneath her. She, because of hypergamy, wants a man who's also got a degree, but not just any degree, a better degree than her. A degree that has allowed that man to move into a field which gives him many options tokens. She is looking for him, although what she's got is next door to useless. Anything in the humanities, in media, anything in pretty much every field that women go into is no guarantee of... They have this sort of mindset. Let me put it this way. I've got a degree, therefore I'm special. I'm going to get paid a lot of money because of this degree. They don't realise that that one woman saying that is the same as 10,000 women who finished that year and got their degrees are saying exactly the same thing. And are all chasing after the same jobs, which aren't very well paid. Because a lot of women go into education. This is why you see so many female teachers. But the thing is though, initially it's quite a well-paid job. The career path of that job isn't very great. So they might get a yearly increase in salary, a small percentage, but actually moving up the hierarchy to a really well-paid job, it's just not going to happen. So many women go into these fields that all of a sudden it's a numbers game. They can't all of a sudden become vice principal, principal, the head of a college, the dean, whatever. It's just one job. So they're all vying for the same thing, and it's the same when they leave university. They're all vying for these jobs, which they are educated for, but everybody's looking for those few jobs. So few women actually get the high-paid job. But they all think they deserve it because they've got a piece of paper. They look down their nose then to the blue-collar worker, the guy who's a plumber, electrician, a bricklayer, a roofer, a HVAC installer, a road worker, not realising that they are the ones that are earning the high pay. There's a true story about a teacher, female teacher, saying to one of her young students, saying, if you don't pay attention and if you don't listen to what I have to say to you and get your education, you'll end up collecting bins like those bin men out there. What she didn't tell those students was that bin man who's collecting those bins earns more than me as a teacher. You see, these are the realities of the real world. But because of hypergamy, she's got more or less a useless piece of paper that says she has a degree in something she can't even get a job in that field because it's so rarefied, that she demands of herself somebody better than her, because that's hypergamy. Somebody who's actually got better options than her, because he can change her life. She doesn't have to then work for her own options tokens. She can latch on to the man's options tokens and vicariously through him say, I'm brilliant because look at what my fella does. You see, that's what money really is. It makes men more desirable, but makes women less desirable, because a woman with a lot of money, although has independence just the same as a man has, now she's just earned herself out of the dating market because she wants something better than she is. She wants somebody higher than her, like that woman who's left university and is actually working on a checkout till. She still thinks because I'm university educated, I deserve a man who is one of the top 10%, one of the 1%. But the truth is, a woman and a man deserve nothing. Absolutely nothing. You don't deserve anything. You don't even deserve to take your next breath. You earn that. You earn your health by doing healthy things. You earn your money by doing useful things. You earn where you live by being worthy of it. You can't demand it, and you're not entitled to it. But women get it into their head that I deserve this. And that's why money is a game changer for both men and women. For men, it elevates us. For women, it keeps them down. Because most women who earn a decent wage, that's it for life. They don't tend to see that once they get to a certain bracket of options tokens, they don't then elevate above that, because all the other women are in that bracket and are trying to elevate. They don't realise it doesn't make them more attractive to men like money does it makes them more attractive to men like money makes us more attractive to women, because it's not our money. We understand this. A woman who earns a lot of money, we don't care about it. We don't care because it's not ours. We have no access to it. Just as her education has no impact on our life because it's not going to get us a better job. But they think because they're better educated, because they're earning a decent wage, that they're entitled to something better than them. Not understanding that the first thing we see with our eyes is them, whether they look fit and feminine, attractive. Those are the three things that we men look for initially in women. Once we've got over the fit, feminine and attractive, we also then want to know that they've got some substance that we can then latch onto to create a long-term partnership. Well, not partnership, it's not a partnership. Relationship, that's the best way to say. And this is, me saying that is just showing how much it's prevalent in society nowadays that it's partnerships. It's not, and this is something men and women need to understand. It's never a partnership. A partnership is equals, and you are not equal. Sometimes she's above you in something, maybe it's intelligence. You're above her in strength, you're above her in probably earning potential. But you're never equal, and there needs to be one out of the two of you in that relationship who is the leader. That's not a role that gets swapped between each other. It's not a committee. It's not run by democracy. It's quite literally a dictatorship. And one of you has to be the one to dictate where it's going. And it's usually a man. Sometimes in that relationship, it's the woman who is the dominant force in it. But generally speaking, it's the man. Now, I've said many, many times about options tokens, and women always think to themselves that a man's options tokens are hers in a relationship. You often hear it said, oh yeah, what's mine's mine. Well, what about what's mine? Oh, what's yours is ours. I've used this statistic before that 80% of the buying power in a relationship belongs to a woman, although she probably only brings in 30% of the income, the joint income. So a man brings in 70% of the household income, but a woman is the one who spends most of the money, and that's why adverts, etc., are always aimed towards women and put men down. But the truth of the matter is if a man walked away with his assets, she would crumble financially. So this is what money really is and why it's a game changer. They're options tokens. The more you have, my brothers, the more options you have in every aspect, every walk of your life. And that's the same for women. Unfortunately, the more tokens she has, the less desirable she comes to a man, because now all of a sudden she has unrealistic expectations of what she thinks she deserves. Anyway, I hope you got something from this video. Listen, if you haven't already subscribed, come on, take the opportunity now. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon. Also, give the video a like. You know, it really does help, even a little bit. But it's free, it's costing you nothing. And also leave a comment. Tell me, do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm talking out my backside? I don't care what you have to say. Just tell me. I read all the comments. I don't always answer all of them, but I do read them all. And they mean something to me that you, my brothers, reach out and tell me what you think of these videos. Like I say, I don't care what it is you're saying, only that you do say something. Because again, that helps the algorithm and helps grow this channel. And although it is growing, I want it to grow more. I want it to grow faster. I want more people to hear these messages. So do you agree with me that money is or are options tokens? Do you agree that trying to have options when you have none of the tokens is pretty much nigh impossible? But having a lot of those tokens makes you desirable to a woman. It's a game changer. Anyway, I'm going for a cup of tea because, well, I think I've earned one. You, my brothers, you take care of yourself, because if you don't, who will? And I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.